And this video will show you the truth on manifesting multiple things at once and what to do to really go about it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my own personal experience on when it comes to manifesting multiple things at once and why it is actually better to do this process that I'm going to share with you. Now, at the fundamental basis, as I say in a lot of my videos, our beliefs create our reality. Now, this means that if you have a belief that some things can happen easily, then many times that will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think that it takes a whole bunch of work to get to a certain point, then that may also be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So at a certain place, it stems from our beliefs, but in general, I'm going to be speaking to most people when it comes to how we've been conditioned to think. Now, this is going to involve an analogy. I'm going to explain a couple things from my own life to kind of explain it so you can kind of see it from a more holistic type point of view. But in general, anything that we want to create, if there is a gap from where we are to where we want to be, in general, it will take a lot of reprogramming. It will take a lot of momentum for us to get from here to there from a certain perspective. Now, the reason I say this is because we've been conditioned to think in a certain way, which means that a lot of our thoughts have been habitualized in a certain direction. So whereas many people might go about it and they might try to focus a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, and a little bit here, nothing really gets picked up because we haven't repetitively put ourselves into a certain state or repetitively put ourselves into creating something specific in our life. Now let me give you an example for this. When I first started creating YouTube videos, I was focused on doing a couple different things at the same time. I was like, okay, if I want to grow my brand, I'm going to put a little bit into Instagram, a little bit into Facebook, a little bit into YouTube, and if I do all of these things consistently, eventually something will happen. Well, what ended up happening is I figured out that what I had to do was tunnel vision my way into just one of the things at first to gain momentum. So I couldn't even imagine if I was doing a daily video every single day on YouTube, a daily Instagram post with like some type of content always going there, and then daily on Facebook. It just wasn't practical for the time of when I was working full time and trying to do this at the same time. So the idea is that what I had to do is I had to double down on just one thing and focus on that one thing growing. So of course I focused on YouTube and I made a video a day every single day no matter what since February. Now, over the course of the first month or two, that's when momentum started to build, and that's when the explosive growth started to happen, and I went from like having 2,000 to 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers to, over 20,000 in a month, and then the next month about 20,000, and it just kept growing from there, and now we're sitting at about 150,000 subscribers for the channel. Now the idea is that I had to go all in, and I had to focus on just one thing to get the momentum to pick up, and then it's funny because now everything else is beginning to grow as well. I don't have to put as much energy into the other social media platforms because I've so overfilled the YouTube platform that everything else is starting to grow as well. Now, of course, I am starting to focus on the other ones because now that this has momentum, I can put my areas into other ways people can digest the information that I give. But that's the idea. Think about it in the form of intention and think about it in the form of focus. They say in the same time, relate this to focus in general. When I get up every day, the first thing that I do is I create videos every single day, no matter what. Now, the idea is that I focus just on doing that for the first, hour or two of my day. And if I were to maybe go and just do some random things throughout the day and then film a video and then go do some other random things and then film a video, it wouldn't actually get done as efficiently because my mind and thoughts would be scattered. Now, science has showed us that it is better to time block and have certain times that we kind of tunnel vision into what we do. That is better than doing things and like checking your phone every 5 minutes and then go doing something, checking your phone every 5 minutes. The idea is that we spread ourselves too thin. If we were to have 5 things that we wanted to create in our life and we were to do 1 or 2 things every day, we would be spreading ourselves too thin. The idea is to have intentions for what you want to do and then double down, go all in on one thing if it's something that there's a big gap with where you want to be to where you are now. So for example, I was at like 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers. I knew that I wanted to grow it to over 100,000, but there was a big gap there. So it's like I can't just assume that if I put a little bit into it, that eventually big things will happen. So I decided to go all in. In the same way, I encourage you that if there's some type of goal that you have, that you really desire, the intention that you have is the most important thing. The intention is more important than the desire. What you should do is have intentions to add and do more towards that every single day, and to use your time and your focus wisely. Don't spread yourself thin and say, oh, I'm going to do a little bit here and a little bit here today, and then space like an hour and a half in between there. Instead, what you should do, or what you can do, is put all your intention and all your focus into time chunking, which is where you set maybe 2 hours a day to where that's all you're going to do. I really believe that since I do this with my productivity, that the first 3 or 4 hours of my day is always very intense, focused work, that I probably get about 6 to 8 hours worth of work done in the first 3 or 4 hours of my day, because I get right into it when I wake up in the morning. So understand that your focus is extremely powerful, but you must focus on one thing in order to get something big done. You must tunnel vision that focus in order to really get results. That if you have, and you want to create this area of your life, this area of your life, and this area of your life, and you want to have certain things happen, you must actually focus on one thing at a time, be present with while you're doing it, and then move on to the next thing. In the same way, productivity, you must focus one thing at a time and then move to the next thing. That's the most productive state of being, versus doing one thing and then thinking about 6 other things that you must do. Now, if you do want to create and have this experience of multiple things at the same time, the type of energy I recommend going about it is to have more segment intending type qualities. Now, what I mean is, as you go into certain things, set more intentions. Have more intentions. Now, people miss out on so many good experiences in their life because they simply don't set intentions. They go into situations with no outcome of what they want out of it, or what they want to focus on, like what is the goal that they have. So they may go, it's kind of like wandering around a park, or wandering around when you're hiking, just kind of like walking around aimlessly, or going towards the top of the mountain, or going towards a certain path. The idea is that the more focused one is the one that you're going to get through the quickest, and the one that you're really going to have the most purpose with as well. So understand that that's why repetition is so important. Repetition is what reprograms our subconscious mind, that we've been habitualized and socially conditioned to think a certain way, and that unless we have a lot of momentum going a certain direction, nothing will actually change. So because our subconscious mind is most powerfully influenced through the idea of repetition, the idea is that what we must do is start to reprogram ourselves in a very powerful way. What I'm going to do is link down below a free meditation MP3 on reprogramming the subconscious mind. It is a meditation that you can listen to before you go to bed that helps you to re-trigger and to rethink about yourself in a new way. In essence, you're going to change your self-image. And as you change the way you see yourself, you change the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act. As you change those 3 things, everything begins to change as a reflection, and you start to get a new reflection in your life. That is best done through repetition. That's why it's something that I give away for free, because I think it's something that has so much powerful and that you can get such good results from. So that's why it's going to be linked down below. You can download that. That can help you along the process towards really being able to create what you want. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Also hit that little notification gear so that you can see the daily videos that I do. And other than that, as always, I will see you guys on the next vid. Peace, much love, namaste.